Welcome to the Quick Stop F1 podcast. My name is Nyasha and you could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate that. Joining me on the Saturday show, as ever, is our favourite Nepo baby and co-host of the Saturday show, as always, it is Tasha James. Where's the clapping? There it is. There you go.
Yay.
Oh, that clap has gone off. Too
right,
much clapping. Too much. How's it going?
It's going. It's been a week. Let me just say that much. So I'm glad it's over, and I'm happy to be here with you. So.
Oh, thank you. As someone who lives on their own, I don't actually hear that often. There's not many people that see my presence or are happy to see my presence. So thank you. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
And look, guys, thank you so much for the support on the channel over the last couple of videos. Has been incredible. Much appreciated. So thank you to all the new subscribers. And if you are new here, give us a like and subscribe on this video. It helps to share us all over the world, as well as if you're on Apple, giving us a review. If you're on Spotify, 5-star rating. And of course, the Patreon's there for an ad-free stream. One day I'll get that speech right. Tasha James, we are here because we're here to review the Hungarian GP Qualifying. I'm so rusty. So rusty. Oh my God. Hungarian Grand Prix Qualifying. And there's only one place to start with a guy who will be starting in a lowly 16th place. When it rains, it pours, and when it rains in any amount, this guy seems to have a very difficult time. Sergio Perez crashing out of Q1 in what I can only describe as quite possibly the sorriest run of form since, I don't know, like 21 Nick Latifi, like 22 Nick Latifi, like 21 Mazepin.
Right.
I'm genuinely...
But at least we expect them to be down there,
Right, exactly.
This is
he's taken, you know what, there's times where we've called him a bum and maybe it's not been justified and maybe we're being a bit harsh, but this run of form... Tasha, thoughts on Sergio Perez and I guess the situation that he finds himself in?
I mean, honestly, at this point, I just feel embarrassed for him. I just think it's just time. It's just time to end this for everybody involved. I'm tired of watching it. I'm sure he's tired of living through his nightmare every week. And it's just not getting better. I mean, today wasn't necessarily fully his fault, I guess, in a sense, but it's just this, like you said, this run has been, it's just bad luck compounded. And so, yeah, I just think it's time to go. I don't see him turning things around anytime soon. And it sounds like they're ready to get rid of him sooner than he can turn things around as it is. So yeah, it's not looking good.
Sergio Perez has been told by Helmut Marko, or it's been said that Helmut Marko said that they're giving him till Spa, which is essentially giving him this race and the race in Spa next week before making a decision. Obviously, they've put Liam Lawson in the car at a filming day, which they said was always going to happen. But the writing does seem to be on the wall. It's a sad situation. It's sad. So sad. He is... You can see it in sportsmen, confidence. Yeah. I always say Arsene Wenger had a very famous quote, the former manager of Arsenal Football Club. He said, confidence goes up by the stairs and it comes down in the lift. And that is essentially, what it is. You build up your confidence, you build it up, and then, you can be shattered in an instant. And looking at Sergio Perez is a man completely lacking in confidence to the point where keeping the car on the road is an issue. To the point where getting his car into Q2, getting his car into Q3 is an issue. And if this was Sergio Perez in a back marker car, fine. You know, if this was Sergio Perez in a midfield car, okay, whatever. You might be able to justify that. But the fact that he is in ostensibly one of the quickest cars on the grid, it's, you know, definitely the second quickest car at this race today. It's leading the constructors. There's no excuse for what's happening with Sergio. And I guess if you were a betting person, what do you think is going to happen to Sergio?
I mean, I'm putting all my money on you're out of here. Like,
mate,
I don't see it. Even if they kept him, I'm just like, how do you justify it? You know what I mean? Like, when you have Yuki doing really well. I mean, even Daniel Ricciardo today went P1 at some point in quali, like out of nowhere. So it definitely feels like there's like blood in the water. Like these drivers definitely see that seat is at risk. And so, yeah, I don't see how Red Bull can defend keeping him at this point. It's honestly not even just been this season. The season before, we had these same conversations. At least I think the season before, he was more capable of recovering better. Like this year, like the recovery drives haven't been there. So even though he's qualifying lower, you don't see him really charging through like you normally would. So yeah, like to your point, you know, the confidence goes down in the elevator. Like the cables have been cut. Like it's just free falling down. Like you know, hundreds of he's done. So yeah, he's about to hit the floor.
Absolutely done. That reminds me of the scene in Ocean's 11 where they're like robbing the fucking thing and like fucking cascading down the lift scene, like in their little outfits. Like he is finished. I've just looked up finished in Spanish. Finalizado. As apparently according to finish. I don't know. Is that finished? I don't know. Finito. I feel like that's like finalized. Yeah. Why are they showing me finalized in Spanish? But look, finished, finalized, Benito. This guy's done out. Like, honest to God, like, I cannot believe I'm standing. He should have been X'd out last year. They didn't do it. You know what? The mad thing is, he was on a bad run of form. He signed a 2-year contract, and everyone was like, wow, what have they done there? But they knew to put these performance measures in, and it's obviously clear that he will not be there next week. He is about as useless as a chocolate umbrella. I've mixed up two different sayings there. I think the phrase is actually as useful as a chocolate teaspoon, and not a chocolate umbrella. A chocolate umbrella might be okay as
chocolate
long as
umbrella works too.
yeah, as long as it doesn't get too warm.
As long as it's not acid rain.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, we need to check the pH level.
Like raining lava would be.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it was raining in like tropical weather, like, it wouldn't work.
Exactly.
But Sergio Perez doesn't work in tropical weather. So you know, what are we doing here? So no, he's done out. The problem is, you know, you mentioned Yuki there. Yuki, you know, came out this week and said it would be weird if Liam Lawson was put in the car ahead of him, considering the job that Yuki's doing in Red Bull.
Right.
But then Yuki goes and does what I would say for this season is, you know, potentially an uncharacteristic mistake, but a mistake nevertheless. He gets a little bit wide there. He's launched by the AstroTurf, and he's actually in quite a big accident. Do you think that would have hurt his chances at all today?
I mean, yeah, I don't think it would have helped at all, especially because, you know, Checo qualifying, you know, ending his qualifying way that it did. Like, it was definitely an opportunity for Yuki to put in a better performance. And yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, Daniel was able to, at least the one run, was able to really like kind of knock it out of the park. So yeah, I feel like if you're vying for that seat, it seems like, and they would know more than us, like, you know, the what's happening behind the scenes. So for sure, I think there's some pressure to be at your best, you know, even more so than before. I think what happens in the next like couple of races is really going to determine, you know, who gets promoted, you know, if at all, if it's not Liam, if it's Daniel, if it's Yuki, whatever. So yeah, I think it does hurt his chances to, in the same qualifying as Checo went out, to also go out. So yeah, because he should have done better. So
yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, Liam's probably going to have 6 months in that car or half a season. I think he's going to have something like 11 races, I want to say. I might be right, I might be wrong, to kind of prove his worth. And look, the bar is in hell. Like, all he has to do is get into Q3 and qualify maybe like 4 or 5 tenths behind Max. Like, and even then he's doing a better job than Sergio. So we'll see. But thoughts and prayers to that team. Another person who I'll be sending thoughts and prayers to, who I believe that a lot of people listening to this in our fan base will not be sending thoughts and prayers to, is one George Woody Loafers Russell. Look at the laugh!
Yeah. Woody, what happened? What happened?
Andy's home.
There's a snake in my boot.
There must have been a snake in that boot. Surely, what's something? Yeah. What's going on? George Russell, unfortunately for George Russell, and Mercedes qualified today in 17th place. And given this is someone who obviously won a race 2 races ago, and has a stellar record in qualifying at the moment compared to his teammate, as we have been reminded of constantly since the start of the season. Did not do well today. He was teetering on the edge the whole session until that Perez crash. And I think I even tweeted, he's a lucky boy, because I thought qualifying wouldn't really... I thought the rain was going to come and people wouldn't improve their times. But he did get an opportunity to improve his times. But a combination of the team not filling him up with enough fuel to do multiple laps, and his lap not being good enough, meant that he did not make it out of Q1. Some drivers who did make it out of Q1, for reference, Valtteri Bottas, Alex Albon, Logan Sargent, Kevin Magnussen made it out of Q1. So, Sergio Perez with a busted car qualified. His car's not even on the road.
That's crazy.
Sorry.
That shit is in smithereens. And still qualified higher than George Russell.
Qualified George Russell. So I guess thoughts on George Russell's performance today?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it feels uncharacteristic for the season that he's been having in quali, but like you mentioned, this session, he just didn't look like he had it together the whole time. Like every time they would cut to, him driving, he just looked like he was having a time. It just did not look like the car was really working with him. So yeah, I mean, it's uncharacteristic, but for me, being a Lewis Hamilton fan, I feel like I'm leaving here with something, I can't really, feel that bad for him at all. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. It seemed like a rough quali for him in general. So yeah, I think it ended the way that it was going to end.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think, look, we have said, I don't know how many times we have to say on this podcast, when the conditions are changeable, when it's not a perfect day, certain drivers come to the fore and certain drivers do not. And I think we saw with the lower track temperatures, we were looking at Lewis putting the car in P1 by a couple of tenths of a second, in Q1. We're seeing George struggling lap after lap after lap to get his car in the window, maybe to get those tires in the window, something that he seems to struggle with on occasion when the conditions aren't perfect. And again, these are the drives that if you're a leader of a team, you would want your lead driver to be able to change with the times, change with the conditions,
Right.
and come with performances which are
Adapt.
adapt. Yeah, exactly. And I don't see a high level of adaptability within George's repertoire when conditions are like this. However, I guess what we should say is, as much as we maybe praise Mercedes in the British Grand Prix for some of the strategy that they called, at the time, the double stack, the coming in for tires at the correct time, bigging up the pit crew for some of the stops that they did. The decision not to fuel him for more than one flying lap, again, we're not seeing that kind of strategy side come, play out. I guess, are you disappointed in Mercedes' decision? I guess from a sporting point of view, and not a personal
Right.
point
Yeah.
of
I
view.
mean, definitely. Definitely. I mean, you don't want to see that like on any team, honestly. Like, I mean, no matter who it is, like, I think those type of errors just don't make any sense, and yeah, this isn't their first rodeo. George has been, really doing well this season in qualifying. So obviously the stakes are extremely high. So to not fuel the car enough is just it just feels like a rookie mistake, honestly. So I think, and then that compounds the issue that George was having where he just wasn't performing. So maybe he did need, another lap or two. So, and he wasn't able to do it. So yeah, I think it's just compounded mistakes. And yeah, I do hate to see that because Mercedes looks like they're turning the tide a little bit. And then it's like, one step forward and small step back, but that does matter because these are critical times. They can't really just be making mistakes like this when it matters. So yeah, it's little red flags.
Little red
Little teeny
flags for
tiny,
sure.
like, yeah.
Little
Yeah.
red flags, sometimes
Yeah.
sometimes it's fun to ignore those red flags, but they will come back to bite you. I'll
Right.
tell you that for free.
True.
So and I think for me, Mercedes remind me sometimes of the jock who doesn't grow up after they leave high school, and they're still
Peaked in high
walking around.
school.
Yeah, they're still walking around in
Yeah.
their varsity jacket and like you know, and I think sometimes I think that they think that they're still in 2020 with a
Yeah.
W11 or 2021, where they're just like, okay, we'll stick some tires on it and we'll be fine and we'll go through. Look,
Yeah.
I think I cheered as loud as I did for Silverstone win of Lewis going through today by
Oh my
0.01
God.
of a second.
Skin of his teeth. Yeah.
Mate, and I was looking at it. I looked at that time, and he stuck it, and he was in like 7th or 8th place, and I was like,
Yeah.
there's like 8 more cars that need to go by.
You know who I was worried about though? I was worried about Hulkenberg because I was like, if anybody can like knock Lewis out, it's going to be him in this Haas. And thankfully, this wasn't his day, but I was actually really genuinely worried that he was not going to make it out of Q2.
When Bottas nearly knocked him out, I said, "We've finished." I said, if this Sauber's getting within like that close, I said, Hulkenberg's got it. I was like, oh my God. So when Hulkenberg came across the line and it wasn't the one, I was like, I literally was like, so, because, again, we could have gone out. And I think that points to, again, we got lucky on that occasion, Hamilton fans, Mercedes fans. Mercedes were, for them to have miscalculated A, their own pace, and B, track evolution. If you've got all these cars going around for one more lap, the track evolution is surely going to ramp up, just giving him the extra time. But, it's a shame because, again, Mercedes, I think I saw Toto Wolff, who did lambast it, mentioning, a combination of driver and team error, but it's unacceptable to lose a car in Q1.
Right.
I think, this afternoon when they were interviewing him, with Lewis looking strong, or maybe it was yesterday, but today maybe he was saying that they've reappraised their targets. They're looking at third place in the Constructors' Championship as a potential, finishing point. Well, they're not going to do that if their car is going out in Q1 and the other one is in fifth, which is not great either. So I think tempered the excitement somewhat, since Silverstone obviously still some way to go with this car, but we'll see. From P5 for Lewis, practice is a bit weird. He's kind of up and down, up and down. 1 minute, I think 1 minute the car was awful in Q3 in practice, third practice, and then we go to Q1 and he's setting purple sector after purple sector. In Q2 as well. He looks a little bit faster, but it just didn't. I think when everyone had everything turned up, I think we saw the true pace of the car. I guess.
Right.
Do you harbour much excitement for tomorrow? Race pace is normally better. I guess jumping science is going to be crucial, but predictions, I guess, on your part for Lewis.
I feel like I'm confident that he can podium tomorrow. I do feel like the car from Silverstone, definitely, I think I felt a little bit of excitement toward like the progress, like everybody else, but I don't think I'm fully ready to be like, we're back, because it definitely feels shaky. And I don't know if it's just because it's this track. I know it was hot over, the past couple of days as well. So, and tomorrow's supposed to be a really hot race. So I don't know. I just feel like there's so many variables. It makes it really hard to confidently say that Mercedes is, back where we want them to be. But I trust in Lewis. I believe in Lewis, and I do think he can podium. I think, Oscar's up there. I feel like McLaren and, Oscar kind of have this interesting relationship where they tend to screw his races. So if that happens tomorrow, we got a chance. We have science in the way. I think we can definitely clear him as well. So Verstappen's in the mix. I don't know. I feel confident in Lewis. So I'm not really sure fully with the team, the strategy, like how to feel yet. But I think Lewis, if anybody can do it, he can do something.
I don't doubt that at all. Let me give you a little, for Lulu, we will always be there. Right. It's the only Salulu.
For Lulu, it's the Salulu. Yeah. Literally my whole personality.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. All those dude bros that were watching last week, like, Nyasha can't hide his fandom for Lewis. It's like, I literally told you.
Why would I want to? Yeah.
Why don't I hide it?
I want to be.
I love him. I'm wearing his badge. I love him. What do you want me to do?
What?
It's true. Like, I love it here. Daddy, I love it
here. This man is beautiful. Like, he's talented. Like, what else?
What else would I want?
What else could
I want? Heavy on the beautiful.
Heavy.
Speaking of heavy. No, I'm joking. So,
oh my god.
Okay.
Not the joking.
Whoa. We're hot in here.
Points were made, though. Points were made.
Points made. So, interesting you mentioned McLaren.
Yes.
Because interesting interview of Oscar in the top 3 section interview that they do after the race. They asked him, and I think that Alice Powell was doing the interviews, and she asked him, and she said, Oscar, you're alongside your teammate. What's the plan going into turn 1? What's your mindset? I think it was going into turn 1. And he paused for a long time. And he was like,
that was a pregnant pause.
It wasn't like
it was a very long pause. Like
twins.
He was like, how can I?
You know what I mean?
really contemplating what to say in that moment. Yeah. You could hear a pin drop. Like everybody in the crowd was like,
hello, Oscar.
Yeah.
He really chose his words carefully. And I think it was a mixture of him wanting to say, I'm going to go for it, and knowing that he's not allowed to go for it.
Right.
In any circumstance. And then he talks about bringing it home as a 1-2. But what we have seen from Lando off the line is that he's not had great starts this season.
Right.
Especially, if we think about, I can't remember the sprint race where he lost out to Lewis, China, where he lost out to Lewis at the start. Obviously, in the last race, he's lost out to Verstappen at the start. Oscar has a chance for his first race win. He was so close to pole position. I'm just looking at the times now. We're looking at 200ths of a second, less than 200ths of a second, to his teammate, which has got to be gutting for him. So I guess how do you? I guess I think you're right in terms of the opportunities for Lewis. We've got a front three there of two McLarens who are, still quite relatively green in running at the front. You've got Max Verstappen who is going to send it no matter who is there. And obviously you've got Carlos Sainz who you just don't know what you're going to get with Carlos Sainz. But I guess McLaren, McLaren really confused me in that, not confused me, any other team that had a front row lockout, I think I'd say guarantee. I'll put everything I have on McLaren winning tomorrow. I don't get that sense of security with McLaren, with Norris and Piastri at the moment, for various reasons. I guess, do you share that? Do you have that confidence in them that they'll be able to bring at least one of them home, I guess, in whoever out of the two, one of them back in first place?
Yeah, I don't have the confidence in them. I feel like they put up a good fight during the races, like definitely can give them that. But there's just something about these final stints for them, or, there's just parts of the races where you just see it slip away completely. And it's like, you should be winning. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, McLaren are not my first choice for, to root for. But at the same time, like, I enjoy seeing people compete in the sport. And I hate when you have like a competitor that seemingly has anything and everything necessary to like be really competitive, and then they just cannot put it together. Like, it's like a wet blanket, like, damn, we could have had something interesting. So for me, McLaren just feels like a wild card. I think, it would be nice to see them capitalize on their advantage. They clearly have an extremely fast car. I even think Lando and Oscar are both excellent drivers, but they both have their kind of like pros and cons, in the race. So yeah, I just feel like they can't, just something is like not clicking, and it would feel kind of like a waste of potential this season to have that car, to have Lando be the lead driver and not be able to like capitalize on any of it. And I do get that irking sense that this is not going to be his race. And I don't think the team is really behind Oscar enough to let him take this win. So that's all I'll say about that.
A little doughboy. I don't think he's like, getting anything out of McLaren.
No.
Yeah, it's a shame. I feel like with Oscar, if I was going to be brutal, I would say McLaren's best chance of winning this race is that Lando gets off the line well, Oscar tucks in, or they go off line astern, they kind of block off all routes to like overtake Lando, allow Lando to take the inside line for the first corner, and just let the natural order of things play out in that Oscar's race pace, pardon me, although he did show incredible race pace on the medium tyres in Britain, at the British Grand Prix, obviously race state at that point, Lewis on softs, Max on hards, but normally his race pace and his tyre management compared to Lando is not as good. So to have him in second, potentially backing up Max, it's a difficult circuit to get past people unless you have a very big delta to the next person. So, I feel like that's their best chance. However, I do feel like they can mess that up, whether that is off the start line with the strategy, especially if things start to go slightly awry. If Max manages to jump Oscar, I think it'll be interesting. I think tomorrow is going to be one of those races where we're going to be looking at the strategy, and we're not going to know fully who's going to win until we get to, I guess, the latter stages of the race. But I mean, look, that's one of the things we love. Yeah, it's one of the things we love about it. I think I love a strategy race, and I was actually just rewatching Hungary 2019 the other day, one of Mercedes and Lewis's finest victories, where they stop Lewis for a second time with like 20 laps to go and say, hunt Max down with 20 laps, and he gets it done. And that's the type of strategy that I could see Red Bull trying to employ tomorrow. If they have the delta, or if they have the kind of space to do that. But everyone's very close these days. And Lewis's race pace is going to be a factor. It's a very tight-knit group. So we'll see on that. I guess if I had to ask you your prediction, I guess outside of, I know you said Lewis podium, but if I had to say like your prediction, what are you going for?
Let me go real Delulu. I think tomorrow Lewis will win 105. I'm just putting that out there. This is vibes, into the universe. That would be crazy, like back to back.
That would be crazy.
Right? Like I think my head would explode. But yeah. So that's P1. I don't know if I know the rest of the podium, to be honest. I know Verstappen should be up there, like P2, P3, whatever. And then I'll keep the McLarens in. I don't know which one, but we'll keep the McLarens in. I do feel like it's between them. I feel like you mentioned, like the race feels really up in the air right now. And I just, in general, I really enjoy that. I don't want to know who's going to win, I just want to be for the ride, be there for the ride. So what about you?
I'm along for the ride. I feel like that's what I'm going to do now. I'm along for the ride. Fuck it.
Right.
105.
Right.
It's happening. Who am I going to? I am going to go safe. And I'm going to say...
Ooh.
I'm going to say it's going to be... I think Lando Norris is going to win. I think Carlos Sainz is going to have a pivotal role in this race. Somehow, some way. The Carlos Sainz is the person in that top four. We're forgetting Carlos Sainz's situation. It's crazy. This guy is playing everyone in that paddock like a fiddle.
Like a little puppet master. What?
Like, respectfully, in the UK, we have a word for people like Carlos Sainz, and we call them Jezebels. He's a Jezzy. This guy is flying up and down with every team on the grid. And the thing is, what's mad is that he knows he's better than every team that he's playing with. So, when when the popular girl comes down the corridor in the High School movies, and the geek's like, oh my God.
Right.
That's like Williams, Audi.
Right.
Fucking Haas. Like Alpine. Like all of these teams, which are awful, just hoping Carlos Sainz gives them a crumb. Do you think? I guess, where is this? I mean, obviously with Sergio Perez, potentially going out. And I guess that's what Carlos Sainz is waiting on, right? Like,
right, that's true.
Are Red Bull gonna come knocking? I guess another outside chance. Will Mercedes come knocking? Like, what's happening with Antonelli? If they can't get Antonelli in the car this year, are they really going to take a chance of putting him straight into Mercedes? But obviously, he wants a longer contract than Mercedes are probably willing to offer. Carlos, if they're not giving Lewis a 2-year contract, I doubt they'll do it for you.
Why would they give you? Yeah.
Let's be realistic now.
Right.
So I guess where do you see Carlos Sainz ending up?
Honestly, I don't know. I think I'm just more interested to see how it plays out, only because of him being so adamant that he just wants to wait it out. Like, I have no idea what to expect. I think this season has been so strange, and like where people are ending up and who's getting mixed around. Like, I couldn't even take a step, honestly. I do kind of wish it was something dramatic, like Red Bull. That would be crazy. It would be, I think, the thing that we all think could happen, but like are not expecting to happen, just based off of how their conversations have been looking with, Liam and Ricardo coming into the team. But like, yeah, if he randomly snatches that seat, I think that would be just the like cherry on top of this crazy ass season in terms of who's going to be where. So. But yeah, I just hope his master plan is actually going to work out for him, because he's like, why do I got to rush? What's the rush?
Like, honestly, honestly,
what's out there? Like,
that's what he's like. Yeah. It's like, honestly, when you're like, your girlfriend will be like, we need to be somewhere for 8:00, and then you're like, okay, and then it gets to like the time to leave, and like, let's go, and like, oh, I'm not ready yet. We were in a rush. No rush. No rush, never rushing whatsoever. So much trauma in my mind. I'm just bringing it out all on the pod. So, we'll see. Shall we go through the rest of the grid?
Sure.
Let's do it. Okay.
Let's go.
What? If Alpine is the answer, what is the question? What are we doing here?
How bad can it get?
Yeah. If I'm someone,
how did that even happen?
I'm sitting on my sofa in shorts, t-shirt. I have a cup of tea. I'm not even looking at telemetry, lap times. I'm just watching the world feed. I can tell you right now, you do not have lap times quick enough to forgo going out again with both cars, with all the information at hand, at a circuit where it is so difficult to overtake. What would motivate this team to not send their drivers out again? Tasha, please, can you explain it to me? Because I don't get it.
Listen, they're delusional. They're as delusional as I am. It's like, when you see the meme of the guy who like has his back to the basketball and he just like throws it and completely fucking misses. Like, that's sort of what Alpine is giving. They're just giving like, we don't care. You know what I mean? Like, even like Pierre said something in like a press recently where he was like, I invite the fastest guy or whatever to like take the second seat. And it's like, do you realize the car that you're driving? Do you understand the circumstances at Alpine? Like, the fastest guy is not going to be there. Like, no. What are you talking about?
At all.
So, yeah, I think delusion runs that whole team, like just Alpine runs on delusion the way that America runs on Duncan. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just are experiencing, I don't know, just like a team that is not serious. And yeah, I just don't understand how I don't know. I don't know how we get here, and I don't know where we go from here. So, yeah.
I hate fucking simple people. Alpine are fucking simple, bruv. Like, not even stupid, bruv. Like, just simple. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, backwater fucking gap-toothed, simple people.
The banjos.
Never been out of their county. Never seen someone different. Simple ass, simple Simons. Yeah. I'm so confused. Anyway, I could have put my house on everything I owned on those two cars being last.
Listen.
Is there any quotes? Let me get some quotes. No, I need to know. I need to know. What was the excuse? Hungarian GP qualifying. No, I need to know. Here we go.
What was the reason?
Esteban Ocon believes 12 or 30 was possible as Alpine did not go out. Said it was not good enough. By which time it was too late. At the back, we were 10th on the track, and we thought we were going to be 17th, 18th, 19th, maybe at best of sessions. So we were going all in, obviously, for Q1. But we were 10th and 12th, so it was better than we were expecting. We've done the right job until now, but we were not out there when the conditions was best. It's been 2 weekends in a row that we do these strategy mistakes. 3 years ago, we were doing the right ones.
3 years.
3 years ago.
Living in the past.
This guy's bruv, he's got his 21 car delivered to him. God. He's still high off his win 3 years ago. This guy was like, you know what? They got to 10th, 11th, and 12th. They're like, you know what? Job done. We're through. We don't have to do anything else.
Nothing more to see here, yeah.
Oh, God.
Just going to wait it out.
Still wait it out. We'll be fine.
That's
that little meme with like the dog in the house. Like, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. Yeah, with the fire everywhere. Yeah. I don't think Alpine, I just don't think that they see it happening. I don't know. It just feels like they don't care. Somewhere.
I don't think, honestly, I just think they're a team who, do you know that, like, that Shannon Sharp meme where he's like, take a look at this shit. He's like,
that's the shit I'm talking
about. So I don't know. Like, I feel like with Alvin, there's no accountability. Like, I just don't feel like, people get fired, people move on, whatever. Like, it's always someone else's fault, and I just feel like it comes from the top down. I think they've got really poor leadership, and this is not the first time that they've made strategy errors. I think Ocon says it's the second weekend in a row now. The teammates fight with each other. They signed 2 guys who fucking hate each other. Lo and behold, it fucking kicks off. They had to kick one of them out. Like, come on, man. Like, who is leading this team?
What did y'all think was going to happen? Yeah.
Anyway, I just had to get that off. That was ridiculous. Zhou Guan Yu in 18th. You know what's hilarious? Zhou Guan Yu is not having a good season, and he might still get kept on at that team next year if Sainz doesn't play there. Like, well, they're saying because Audi's got a massive market in, basically just because there's a massive market in China, and he would effectively be an incredible market that in their first season there. So, look,
that makes sense. Yeah.
I don't hate that at all. I don't hate that. They always want people of color to be like exceptional. Maybe not. Maybe we're just fucking.
Let us be mid.
Getting along. Let us be mid. Yeah. No, we don't all have to be exceptional. So
he's an exceptional dresser. I will give him that.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Do you know who else is an exceptional dresser? Lando Norris.
Yeah, giving Lewis a run for his money. I was like, what are y'all talking about?
The ghetto.
Go Oh.
Yeah.
Vogue.
Man.
No. His PR team.
What's going on? I know every day he logs on the Twitter like, bro, what the fuck? They set me up again. Like every day it's something. It's his fans. It's some news magazine. It's just like, let Lando.
Oh my God. It's so bad.
Live.
It's his fans.
Crazy.
It's his fucking fan account admin who's always setting him up. It's his PR team putting him in articles that he shouldn't be put in. Like, it's him saying something stupid and then getting caught up in it.
Right.
Like, every day he comes on the internet. Like,
he can't win.
Oh my God. I just, bless him. I just don't get it. Oh, what a guy.
I was cracking up.
Oh my God. Giving Lewis the responses to that were hilarious. So
a walk, like maybe a brisk walk, not a run.
There were so many other things that I was going to put in response to that was so out of pocket. I just, I was like, let me not. Let me just put the lookalike in there and go about my day.
Yeah, I think Lando needs a new PR team.
Yeah, hilarious.
Help him out.
Sorry. Right. Who is next? George Russell in 17th. Sergio Perez in 16th. Right. So that was the people who got out on NQ1. So into Q2, we have Magnussen. Yes, Kevin Magnussen, who's announced that he's to step away from Haas. Him and Haas will be parting ways. 2 seconds. Let me play this. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Time is slipping away from me. Yeah, he's finished. What's hilarious is that
who would have thought?
Who would have thought? They're like, Kevin Magnussen's like, I'm gonna see if there's any other drives there. Go home, bro.
Go home, Roger. You're done.
You're done. Don't they take the fucking glass away from someone who's had too much? Like, you're done. You're done, sir. Go home.
You're done. You're 1 point away from a race ban. Like, babe, you're useless to anybody right now.
Honestly,
go home. Be a father. Yes.
Go be a father. Do you know what I mean? Race supercars. I don't know. Do something else. Go IndyCar. I don't know. Anything else. So yeah, I mean that's what I've got to say. I'm sure Tandy will have a lot to say on that.
Yes.
Logan Sargent in 14th. I mean, yeah, at risk of losing his seat this season. God, that's gotta hurt. Alex Albon in 13th, and I think Alex blamed some kind of strategic error. They sent them out at the wrong time, and unfortunately they were not able to improve. And I think they were looking at potentially being able to get into the top 10 if they were out at the right time. But I mean, I don't think so. Valtteri Bottas in 12th with a good showing. That's Sauber. They still haven't scored a point, so he'll be looking to try and improve on that. Nico Hulkenberg, as we mentioned, just outside the top 10. In 11th, Yuki Tsunoda in 10th. Daniel Ricciardo, who every time I say something bad about him, something good happens to him. So I'm going to stop talking bad things about Ricciardo. I seem to just be like...
You're attracting good things into his life.
Yeah. For some reason, the universe wants to smite me every time I say something good about him. So I'm not going to say anything good about him anymore. Or bad about him, sorry. I will never say anything good about him. But...
You've already said too much. Be careful. He's going to win the race tomorrow.
This is true.
Yeah, careful.
Lance Stroll in 8th, a couple of tenths behind his teammate Fernando Alonso in 7th. Charles Leclerc in 6th, Lewis Hamilton in 5th, Carlos Sainz 4th, Verstappen, Piastri, Norris finish it up. interesting grid we've got there.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting grid, and I guess we'll
Ready.
see. Is there any more? Any more for any more?
I don't know. I feel so like disoriented this week in Formula One. Like I've been like in and out of paying attention, so I don't know what's been going on.
Honestly, like I've been watching the British Grand Prix on repeat. Sorry,
literally, I'm on my third watch.
Like I want to go watch it again now.
Yeah.
Like
right.
I'm busy.
Serotonin boost, right?
Like, I've got shit to do. Okay, like so. Let me know if there's any F1 news that we missed out on.
Right.
No, I don't care about Red Bull accusing McLaren of cheating. No, I don't care about Red Bull's technical updates and according to my sources, well, no one cares. You're not part of the team.
Sources trust me, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, relax. So yeah. So unless I don't think we've missed anything important, and if we have, we apologize, but we'll pick that up. Let us know in the comments if we have. I'm loving the conversation in the comments, guys. Please, if you've got something to say, please, it's going off in the comments. Hey, you guys are not holding back either way. Thank you. We appreciate it all. I love debate. I know some of you guys were a bit upset with the last episode. I understand. I get it. But it's important to have opposing. Yeah. I think it's good to have those conversations. I love those conversations.
It was a great episode. Yeah.
I think it was a great episode. Some people didn't like it. Some people didn't even listen to it. And I think that's I get it. You know, I don't listen to I support Arsenal. I don't listen to like a Tottenham Hotspur podcast to hear like an opposing opinion. So I can understand if there's an opposing opinion to what you want to hear, you would not want to listen to it. But at the same time, I think it brought out the Team LH in me even more. So we had these very contrasting views on how we watch sport, how we look at F1, how we look at sporting greatness. And I think there's a very good conversation in there. So if you haven't listened to the last episode, I would implore you to, because it was a very good episode. It was good. Cameron every time. But we will see you on Monday. We're recording tomorrow. So we'll see you on Monday. Brad Philpott is the guest. So looking forward to that. I made sure to get the most Team LH person I can find as an antidote. It was for everyone who didn't want to listen last week. So there you go. Here, damn. God.
Go get your juice.
Yeah. So we'll talk to you then. Remember, if you've enjoyed this episode, thank you for listening. You can make sure to give us a like and a subscribe. Give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. If you're listening on Apple, give us a review. And remember, there's an ad-free Patreon stream, which helps to support the channel. Thank you so much. Guys, here is to 105. Tasha, thank you for being you. I know you're co-host, but you know what I mean? You just get a round of applause anyway. You know?
Thank you.
I know you've had a tough week, so thank you for taking the time to come on and to do this with me. I feel like I'm like
absolutely.
Since I went sober, I feel like I've turned from what's those massive dogs, like a fucking, I don't know, like a big lazy dog, to that dog that's just like wakes you up in the morning. I'm like, hi guys.
You're like a little Jack Russell Terrier.
Yeah. We're gonna park today. Yay.
Everything's amazing. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Hi, good morning. Sunshine and flowers. So yeah, I appreciate that. But no, thank you guys for listening. Remember, no matter what life throws at you, keep it on the black stuff. Until next time, guys, toodle pip. Goodbye.
Bye.
Look, mate, if you've got this far, clearly you like what we do. So here's a link to subscribe to the Quickstop F1 family. Give that a click. And here's another link to some more cool on our channel. Sorry, cool stuff. And remember, no matter what happens, keep it on the black stuff. Click the stuff. Click the links. Click the links. Click the links. There. they're there.